Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. My name is Monique and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. And I wanted to thank you guys so much for your continued love and support that you do bring here on the channel. For those of you that are wanting to book a private reading, you can find my email down below in the description box, or you can send me an email and I will provide you with more information on booking readings as well as other services with me. So today's pick a card reading, we are doing what am I lacking in my relationships. And so I wanted this reading to not just be for love connections, but also for those of you that are finding yourself in situations or maybe even friendships, relationships with coworkers, any type of relationship or connection that you do have in your life. What are you lacking in those relationships? So sometimes it may be that you feel that a certain connection is not really fulfilling for you, or it just kind of feels, that maybe there are some imbalances within that. So we're going to look into what are you lacking in those relationships, and then we're also going to be getting some advice and guidance from Spirit on how you can cultivate healthier, deeper, more personal connections with people, regardless of what it is, love, romantic, a friendship, or even, coworker, colleague type of situations, maybe even business partnerships. Okay, so what are you lacking in your relationships? We are going to be doing 3 different piles today. We are going to be shuffling to put the piles together. So if you like to watch that process, I will have a timestamp down below for you guys. In order for you to choose the pile with the crystal pile all put together, you can do that, or you can choose right now if you already feel called to a certain crystal. You can jump ahead to the timestamp down below. That'll take you directly to the reading. But right now I am going to add at least one of these cards onto your little crystal here. So once again, what are you lacking in your relationships? So let's get a card for pile 1, which is going to be with the citrine. And I will give you guys a close-up with the card as well as the crystal. And then if you want to watch me put the piles together, you're more than welcome to do that too. So pile 1, what is pile 1 lacking in their relationships? Actually, Spirit is saying take this one. Okay, so we have Luna, or the moon, for pile number 1. What is pile 2 lacking in their relationships? We have Uranus for pile number 2, which is a green moss agate. And then pile number 3, we have the sun. Okay, and that is going to be with the angel aura. So we'll take a look at the cards a little bit closer. So pile 1, what are you lacking in your relationships? We have the moon with this citrine crystal here for pile number 1. Pile number 2, you are going to be the Uranus with this green moss agate for pile 2. And then pile number 3, you are the sun with this angel aura quartz crystal for pile number 3. So if you do feel drawn to more than one pile, that is perfectly okay. Go with whatever your intuition is telling you for this reading. As I said, we are going to be putting these piles together, but if you already have a feel for which one is calling to you the most, you can go ahead and jump down to the timestamp, and you will find those down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comments. And those of you that want us to watch want to watch me put the piles together, as I said, you're more than welcome to watch that process. We do have a bunch of different oracle decks we're going to be using for this reading today. So I will let you guys get to it, and I will see you at your reading. Okay, so let's get these piles put together. We are going to be adding in some additional tarot as well as oracle cards. So we're going to get started with these. And our question for our pick a card today is, what am I lacking in my relationship? So we're going to pull one of these for each of the piles. So pile 1 with the moon. What is pile number 1 lacking in their relationships? Okay, so we're going to do that one. Pile number 2 with Uranus. What is pile 2 lacking in their relationships? I'll do that one for pile 2, and then pile 3 with the Sun. What is pile 3 lacking in their relationships? Okay, so we need them to not flip over. All of them keep flipping over. Pile number 3. What is pile 3 lacking in their relationships? Okay, so that one, let's go into this one here. We're going to pull one of these. What is pile 1 lacking in their relationships? We're going to do this one. Pile 2 with Uranus. What is pile 2 lacking in their relationships? And then pile 3 with the Sun. Okay, we'll go with this one here. What is pile 1 lacking in their relationships? Pile 2, and then pile 3. Okay, on to this one. And then pile 2. And pile 3. And then our last oracle deck, and then we're going to pull some tarot. So what is pile number 1 lacking in their relationships? And then 3. Okay, so let's do our tarot. And we are going to be pulling 3 tarot cards from this deck. Okay, so 3 for pile 1. What is pile 1 lacking in their relationships? That one. What is pile 1 lacking in their relationships? Okay, and then pile number 2. What is pile 2 lacking in their relationships? And then pile 3, what is pile 3 lacking in their relationships? Okay, so now we are all set. So let's actually feel, I should probably just leave them right here. And we're going to put these right on top. With the crystal up there. And then for pile 3, okay, so all of our piles are put together. Pile number 1, this is going to be yours with the Moon card and the citrine. Pile number 2, this is going to be your pile with Uranus and the green moss agate. Pile number 3, this is going to be your pile here with the Sun card and the Angel Aura quartz. As I said in the intro, if you do feel called to more than one pile for this reading, that is perfectly okay. Timestamps will be down below. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to meditate on the piles, the crystals, the artwork in the card, whatever you feel is calling to you the most. What am I lacking in my relationships, and how can I cultivate healthier, deeper connections is the guidance we're going to be getting from Spirit. So I will see you at your reading. Timestamps will be down below. Hello, Pile 1. So those of you that resonated with the Moon card, this is going to be your reading. So we're looking today at what are you lacking in your relationship. So let's get all of your cards out here. And let's see. One of your, I believe it, I don't know. It was, I think it was one of the tarot cards. I did have to cover up a little bit of the imagery. Just to make sure that it was YouTube friendly. So let's put these up here and we'll save these for the bottom. So we do have the Destroyer. The Destroyer, okay. And let's see what else you have. We have the Mirror with Perception. Okay, Mirror with Perception. Let's actually put this in here. And then you have the Gazelle. And let's look at your tarot. So, yeah, I had to cover up this guy. So we have Sadness and Isolation. This is the Three of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands, which says rest and reconsider. And then we also have the Lovers, which says love here. Okay, and your other two, we have the Thinking Man. And then, okay, we also have Observer. Okay, so what I will already say, kind of feeling this energy out, is what is lacking. And I'm going to be very, very honest with these readings, as I usually am. But what I feel like a lot of this energy that's coming through is that you may be someone who has gone through a lot of very challenging relationships, friendships, maybe even situations with siblings, family members, things of that nature. because the Three of Swords energy is talking about a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of heartache. And then the Nine of Wands energy can come across as a very wounded energy. And so with this wounding that I'm kind of seeing here, having gone through a lot and feeling very challenged, you have the gazelle here. And the gazelle is very hyper attuned to its surroundings. And so this can almost come across as hypervigilance. And so it makes me feel like, and I'm noticing we have observer and we also have the thinking man. So it makes me feel that you are someone, and I feel like this is probably coming from trauma, like I said, from past situations that you've gone through, that, and also you have the destroyer here. It's making me feel like you have a difficult time with trusting people, and you may feel the need to, every time you meet and connect with a person, whether it be a friend, a family member, or a romantic partner, that you constantly feel, I don't really want to say paranoid, but I would just say more hypervigilant, okay? More hypervigilant with the other person's energy. Almost like you're very protective, which I feel like, yes, you should be. Of course, we should always be protective of our energy and make sure that we have healthy boundaries that are set in place. But it makes me feel like you may have a tendency to get in your head about letting the guard down, because it's kind of like, as a result of the traumas that you've gone through, you are kind of like looking for a threat, right? That's what hypervigilance really is. And that is something that does occur because of trauma. So it makes me feel like you have the need to kind of constantly feel like you're reading a person's body language, to make sure that you feel safe, you feel secure. And sometimes this can lead us to being on high alert, kind of like the whole time we are around someone. So it's kind of like we don't allow ourselves to relax and just kind of pay attention to how we feel around that person's energy, versus constantly looking for a threat, constantly looking, it's kind of like, can I trust this person? Is this person lying to me? Is this person, being honest? And I feel like a lot of it comes from past, okay, where you are observant of other people. And we have perception here with the mirror. And so it makes me feel like Spirit's saying that sometimes your perception of your relationships, connections, partnerships, friendships, whatever they might be, those are, or that may be something that is blocking you, I feel like in this case, from being able to allow yourself to connect with people. Because you may kind of get in your head about feeling the need to constantly assess, just, and with the destroyer here, it kind of makes me feel, kind of looking at it, it looks like there's two little eyes here, like kind of lurking in this shadow energy. And so, yeah, with the moon energy here too, the moon to me is also bringing in insecurities, fears, deception, illusion. And so it makes me feel like a lot of what you're lacking in your relationships is your ability to create balance and harmony with the Lover's energy here, to find balance within yourself so that you're not feeling that need to constantly feel like someone is going to hurt you. And I feel like that is because of what you've gone through in the past. So you may kind of get in your head about your friendships, your relationships, and feel like I can't trust, right? I can't trust this person, that they're not going to hurt me. So it can be very guarded energy that you do give off. And I feel like it's just a need for allowing yourself to kind of take a look at what those fears are and acknowledge that they're there. And that may even come from changing or shifting your perception, right, about people. It can also be a need for you to also, I feel like, pay attention to what your energy feels like when you're around someone versus the body language, kind of like studying someone, being maybe overly observant at times, and more or less just kind of tuning into how does your energy feel around that person. Do you feel drained? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel tired? Do you feel, kind of like you're around energy vampires? Or is it that there really is something that makes you feel uneasy about the person? Because let's just say you meet a new friend and you go straight to, let's just say you go straight into gazelle mode, where you are just paying attention to everything to the point where you don't allow yourself to relax and just kind of be in your body versus in your head. To pay attention to what your intuition is telling you about that connection. So that's kind of the big message that I'm getting from this. It's not so much that you could potentially be lacking something, but more or less what's lacking here is your ability to find, I feel like, harmony within yourself, around people, and to maybe change or shift the perspective of feeling that need, like that everyone is kind of like a threat. I feel like with this energy, which is what I'm seeing so far. I want to see if there's any other messages that are here before we move on to asking spirit. But yeah, I'm feeling, the Three of Swords can also talk about that need for healing, allowing ourselves to heal. The Nine of Wands is also talking about resilience. Okay. And with the Lover's energy, it's, also finding and connecting with people who, are supportive, who are also acknowledging, right, what you've may have gone through, if that is something that you are sharing with that person as well. Okay. I'm also kind of getting here with the moon, because the moon, goes through cycles. And with the destroyer energy here, this is kind of like tower energy within the tarot. And so I'm feeling that with this energy here, you're working through healing and releasing these things that you have gone through. But it also kind of gives me this sense of impermanence that you've had with, and maybe very chaotic connections, relationships, friendships, family situations. And it may be that you've had maybe a lot of friends that have come in and out of your life. And so, a lot of those situations may have ended very abruptly, or even, reaching levels in a friendship where you end up having disagreements, fights, arguments. So I feel like and also looking at the mirror here, how she's kind of holding a mask in front of her face, it makes me feel like for some of you, that you don't allow people in close enough to get to know the real you. To me, this destroyer energy can also be self-destructiveness, self-sabotage type of energy. So it could even be that you know, that's just kind of what I'm getting here. Is like there's this energy here where you may be very much in your head constantly, like I said, just constantly looking for something to go wrong, almost like expecting it, expecting something to go wrong, expecting that someone's going to hurt you, that someone's going to, you know, mislead you in a way, or, you know, broken promises, someone being deceptive, betrayed. And that's kind of what I feel here, is that because the Three of Swords can also be about a betrayal, you know? So maybe you have been in those situations in the past, and it's just kind of, you know, all too familiar. You may kind of notice certain things about people, and that may kind of send you into this place where you put the wall up. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm seeing. What am I lacking in my relationships? I feel like is more so your ability to not overly assess. And I feel like that for you, it's going to come from you really working on the healing. Really working on the healing of the past. So because this, like I said, for many of you, the hypervigilance is something that is coming from past, from, you know, maybe childhood, maybe from past experiences that you've had that have led to you to feel that you need to be super on high alert of protecting yourself, you know, allowing yourself to create those bonds and connections with people. Because I feel like you are, especially with the moon energy here, it's very intuitive energy. Very intuitive. And so I do feel like you are someone who can pick up and read people's energy. Very good. But I feel like it's almost like because of the past pain that's here, we may also have a little bit of the ego that's involved in terms of the overanalyzing and thinking. Because with the moon and intuition, this is about feeling. Feeling here, which is intuition, versus this energy here, which is thinking. Here, the gazelle, the thinking man, the observing. To me, this is where you start to tune into the cognitive mind, which is where you're starting to overanalyze and to get in your head about it. Which is what I'm seeing here. Okay. So that's basically what I'm seeing. So what I do want to do, I want to ask Spirit here, what can you do? Aside from, I feel like you working on healing, okay, working on healing, working on changing and shifting perspective, and maybe also being mindful, you know, like let's just say you practice going and meeting people, like making new friends, and notice yourself, pay attention, be mindful. Like, am I overanalyzing this person right now, or am I in my body and paying attention to what my intuition is telling me about this person's energy, versus feeling that need to put the wall up as soon as I meet someone because I feel that there's something that has been triggered from past. Okay. So, but yeah, with the Destroyer here, it's almost like this, for some of you, a very self-sabotaging type of energy. And I feel like it's only because of what you have gone through in the past. Okay. That may be something that is blocking or preventing you from being able to create healthy, like I said, bonds, connections with other people. Okay. So we're going to ask Spirit here, what can you do to cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? I'm going to grab another tarot deck here. And even if you look at this Nine of Wands energy here, he looks like he has his, or she, I'm sorry, she has her backpack. And she's like up in this cave or mountain here, way above, you know, everyone else. She's by herself, like she's isolated. Yeah. And then we have sadness and isolation. It may even be like you pushing people away. Pushing people away is another thing that I'm seeing here. Right? To protect yourself, to protect your energy, like not wanting to let anybody get in close. Okay, so let's see. What can pile 1 do to cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? We have the world. Okay, so the world is about the completion of cycles. Okay, so with this 3 of Swords and this 9 of Wands, this can be, you know, many different things that you have gone through in your past. And so with the world energy here, this is going to be you working towards closing out those cycles, right? So maybe going over the feelings, the emotions that you're still holding on to because of those past experiences, and being able to honestly assess them in terms of the current people that you might have around you. You know, maybe there has been certain beliefs that you've held on to or have even created as a result of those experiences that you've had. And so the world energy is about bringing those cycles to an end. Okay, let's see. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? Pile number 1, we have Judgment. Okay, so Judgment is a card of release, and it's actually before the World card. 20 and 21. But Judgment is where we look back to our past to make peace with it. This includes releasing the heaviness, the burdens, the pain. It can be forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, so that we can find renewal within ourselves. So we are not carrying and holding on to this energetically. Okay? Which is, yes, releasing the past. So that does come along with healing, working on forgiveness. How can you cultivate deeper, healthier connections with people? Pile number 1, Page of Wands. Okay, so the Page of Wands, if you're closing out a cycle here and releasing your past, and the Page of Wands energy is about starting new. Starting new. The Page of Wands is also about exploring, discovering, being open, right? Being open to meeting and connecting with new people, exploring, getting to know people, getting to know yourself. Yeah, and I feel like looking at this too, it may even be that you have developed even a false sense of self as a way to protect yourself from people. Where for some of you, you don't even feel comfortable being you, the real you, like letting that guard down so people can actually get to know you, the real you. Okay, let's see what else. How can you cultivate deeper? Okay, so we have the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords is a card of rest, a card of meditation, calming the mind. Okay, so even some meditative practices for you, especially, like I said, a lot of this energy here to me is a lot of the cognitive mind being very busy, overanalyzing, overthinking. Like I said, for some of you, hypervigilance, especially coming from trauma. So this is a need for bringing the mind to rest. This maybe even could be working on breathing techniques that'll help you to really relax and calm the mind. Let's see what else. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections? But forgiveness is going to be a big thing, I feel like, here with Judgment. Transformation. Because these experiences that you've gone through have also taught you many lessons. And we can take those lessons moving forward. We can look back to, say, an old friendship, and we can say, okay, when I went through that friendship with that person, I felt like my self-esteem suffered, or I felt like I had maybe a lack of confidence in myself. I didn't have a voice. I let people talk to me how they wanted to talk to me. I didn't set healthy boundaries. It's like we learn from those situations how to grow, how to be more open, I feel like, as well, to unconditional love, right? And understanding that maybe some of those experiences that we've gone through in the past, where friendships may have been, or relationships even, may have been conditional. And this is about you with the Lover's energy here, learning to love the self, right? Learning to love the self so that you can extend that energy towards others and connect with other people who are in that same vibration. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? We have the Six of Wands. Okay, Six of Wands energy. To me, this is also talking a lot about, I'm getting a little bit of ego here. A little bit of ego in a way that I feel like the ego is, like I said, functioning to protect you, because that's what the ego's job is. It's to protect us. And so I feel like I said, with this energy here, it makes me think that what am I thinking here? I just feeling like maybe taking a look at how being more mindful, right, of your thoughts and where your head is at when it comes to that. But also with the Six of Wands, this can be making sure that you are someone who takes the time to value those people of importance to you in your life, whether they be friends, romantic partners, family members, but also to ensure that they are also someone who gives you or sees your worth, sees your value, and gives you that type of recognition. But you can also be someone who gives that type of recognition to others, to show that you see the value in another person, or the value of that person within your life. And I feel like a lot of what will help you here with the Lover's energy here is for you to find balance within yourself. Like I said, be more mindful of where your thoughts are at. Do you feel like you are in, self-sabotaging mode, negative thinking, negative thoughts, pushing people away, isolating yourself because of past, or is it really truly intuition? Are you feeling it in your gut that something is wrong, something is off? Okay, like I said, intuition is feeling, or the ego, the cognitive mind, is thinking, right? And once we start thinking of this thing and that thing and that thing, and we start moving away from intuition and more to our head, right? Overthinking things. So yes, I feel like reflecting upon the things that you have gone through, bringing those things to the surface, illuminating, and forgiving, releasing. If that means forgiving yourself, thinking about what lessons you've learned, like I said, from those experiences, but leaving the past in the past, right? Not bringing that with you moving forward into new connections, new relationships, because in a way, it's kind of like if you're, doing that, this in a way is kind of already sabotaging new connections for you, new friendships, your ability to form a bond with someone. So yes, that's just what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to get some last guidance for you. Pile number 1, any guidance, advice that Spirit has for you. What advice and guidance do we have for pile number 1 for how to cultivate healthier, deeper connections, relationships, friendships with people? Okay, so we have I remember, and it says soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Let's get a couple more. We have I'm sorry, and it says defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and also uprooting. Okay, so to me this says a lot about releasing here. And for some of you, I'm noticing how these roots going very deep into the ground, right? So for some of you, this convey something, maybe even a pattern of behavior that you've had for quite a long time when it comes to connections, maybe even something that has occurred since childhood where you felt like you had to, you know, protect yourself. And so let's see what else. We have the blue flame, and it says spontaneous awakening, activation, and also integration time. So I'm also feeling like this is Spirit saying here, there's a lot that you have learned from these experiences that you've had in the past. Although they may have been very challenging, very painful for you, there's a lot of lessons that have been learned from these experiences. And so we can take that and really work on, with the judgment energy here, work on personal transformation. Many of these situations have made you stronger as a person. And so I feel like it is about you taking that wisdom and that knowledge. I feel like with the soul plan here, I feel like this is Spirit's way of also saying that maybe many of these lessons and challenging situations that you've gone through have been ones that have been very important to your soul's path, to your soul's journey. Soul contracts that you may have even had with other people. And for some of you, this can even be something that is helping you. I'm just getting, this is a very specific message, but for some of you, it's even that some of these experiences that you've gone through may be something that are very important to what your soul's purpose is. Okay. But now with the integration time here, it's time to take what you've learned from these experiences to help you to learn, you know, what works in relationships and friendships and what doesn't. And how to become that version of self that has every possibility of creating and cultivating more deeply personal connections with people that are truly inspiring, and with people who truly show you that they value you and they see your worth. And that is also something that you see within others. And you can allow yourself to let the guard down and to really remove the mask that you may have worn to protect yourself, or to, you know, even the tendency to self-sabotage in the past, where you can truly step into who you truly are and show others, you know, that aspect of yourself, and feel comfortable enough to open yourself up. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for you, pile number 1. I do hope that this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with the Uranus card and the green moss agate, this is going to be your reading today. So I'm going to put out all of your cards, and we're going to take a look at them all together. So let's put these at the bottom. So let's see, we have the Hunter, and we have the Raccoon. We also have Spell with Enchantment. Let's see, your Tarot. We have Challenging Times with the Five of Wands. We have the Eight of Wands with success and growth. We also have Move, which is the Chariot card. We have regeneration. And then we also have the Angel of Love. So I'm going to kind of just take a second to see what Spirit is saying here about your energy. So our question, what are you lacking in your relationships? Okay, the first thing that I'm noticing here is that you have the Five of Wands and you also have this raccoon energy, both of which can talk about competition, competitiveness, when it comes to, maybe especially for those of you that where this is about friendships for you, difficulty, challenges that you're finding there. The raccoon also wears this little mask, or he doesn't wear it. It's not by choice, it's just he's born that way. So we have a little mask here that he wears, or he has, on his face with his fur. But when this raccoon energy is out of balance, it can become someone, which is either you or even the people that you connect with, can have this very competitive energy. You know, kind of like in a way, the need to kind of outdo one another. And so I feel like with you having the Five of Wands here, the Eight of Wands is about energy that's in motion. It may even be communication that you're finding. Maybe for some of you, it is challenging for you to communicate effectively, or finding issues surrounding communication with others that'll help you to maybe even take connections, whether they be romantic or friendships, to allow them to further progress into something that is, say, beneficial for the two of you. So it makes me feel like a lot of this that you're finding here is your ability to have maybe even effective communication with others. Challenging, something that maybe even creates conflict, like I said, or even a very competitive energy with people. Okay, with the regeneration here, this is talking about certain, let's just say certain situations, relationships, friendships, connections that don't work out. And then your ability to your ability to understand that it is possible for you to be able to move forward from certain things or friendships, connections, and create a more balanced, harmonious type of energy with people. And so with the energy of Uranus, I feel like this is bringing in this, I'm noticing first off, there's this huge kind of like lightning bolt that's kind of coming down here. And so what I'm feeling kind of really drawn to, it's kind of reminding me again of this very challenging energy with the Five of Wands. Like I said, this can talk about competition. This can even be with siblings, conflict, challenges, competitiveness. This can even be comparing yourself to another person. For some of you, I almost kind of feel like that what you're lacking in your relationship is maybe even people who are in alignment with you. And maybe recognizing when certain people are not, and your ability to be able to let them go. You know, to be able to kind of move forward with connections that are more fulfilling. Because the raccoon, when, like I said, when this is out of balance, it can be very competitive. But when it is in balance, it is also allowing for a very creative energy to come through. And so this is, kind of in a way inspiring you or even the person you're connected to feel comfortable being yourself. And so not feeling like you have to fit into a certain mold to please a partner or a friend, in what their ideas, their views, their opinions of you are. And so to me, this shows a lot of your ability to be yourself. And I feel like with the spell and enchantment here, some of you may be drawn to or even have other people who are very drawn into you that bring about a lot of you feeling challenged about what your own ideas are about yourself. Almost like in a way, like people, what I'm kind of getting is people kind of forcing their own beliefs, their own values, their own opinions on you. And instead of this being something where you can create balance and harmony in a relationship or connection or friendship, it's almost like there's this constant feeling of not feeling settled, not feeling comfortable. And when there are challenges also surrounding communication, to me, it's also about your ability of recognizing when there are certain connections that are not giving that to you, and you having enough willpower to move on from them, to let them go. Because for some of you, it could be that feeling like so drawn into someone, even though they may not be the right person, almost like fighting for someone's attention. Like you feel like you have to go out of your way to do something for them, or to people please, or to, show a person that you're interested, or show a friend that you're worth hanging out with, something like that. So it makes me feel, and I'm noticing how in this Chariot card we have a heart, and then also the Angel of Love, there's a heart here as well. And I'm noticing how there is this horse that's in the Hunter card here too, which normally the Chariot card has the little sphinxes here, but it's this powerful energy movement forward. So yeah, it just makes me feel like, I don't know, are you losing maybe your identity? Are you losing a part of self when you're going into these connections, whether the friendships or the romantic relationships, and finding it difficult to be able to move past certain things? Because the Five of Wands can also talk about differences and incompatibility, and just maybe differences in opinion, differences in directions that you're wanting to go in life, or things that you're interested in. And it's kind of like maybe this is a place where you are trying to force, right, certain situations, certain friendships, certain things, where you're just, instead of saying, okay, and this can even be something that happens to friendships that you've had for a long time, where you outgrow a relationship, you outgrow a friendship. It no longer serves a purpose. It no longer feels as something that is fulfilling for you, right? It doesn't inspire you anymore. And so that's kind of this energy here with the raccoon. Like I said, when it's in balance, it feels like it's allowed to be creative. It's allowed to express itself. And so maybe what you're lacking in your connections with people is you find that maybe there's too many differences between you and another person. Maybe that at first you thought that you had something that was really in common with this person. And then as time passes, you're starting to realize how different, the two of you may be, or how people change and progress into the friendships or the relationships, and might kind of discover, okay, maybe I didn't have, everything in common that I thought I had with this person. And so to me, it's about you being able to identify when there are differences that you cannot move past, when something no longer allows you that freedom to express yourself, that freedom to be creative, that freedom to kind of explore, or you know, be your own person, you know, have your own identity instead of trying to feel like I have to please this romantic partner or this friend and act a certain way, talk a certain way, be a certain way in order to maintain a friendship. You know, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here for you as far as what is lacking in relationships is maybe ones that are not really inspiring, or maybe friendships that don't inspire you, and help, where the two of you kind of inspire each other to grow or to evolve, where there's more, it turns more into maybe say like envy or competition or jealousy, instead of building each other up, instead of, you know, showing genuine love, care, compassion towards one another. It's just this conflicting energy that you're finding, I feel like, with both friendships and maybe even romantic relationships. And like I said, with the Chariot, it's about you having the willpower to be able to let them go. If you're finding that, let's just say with a friend, that you're no longer getting along, or there is too much competition, there is too much envy, too much jealousy, too much sabotaging each other, or feeling like you have to hide your true self from someone, or the things that you like, because the things that you like are not what they like. And if you tell them what you like, you know, then they're going to say something bad about it, or they're going to, you know, make fun of you, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I feel like this energy here where maybe certain people that you have around you, or even that you allow into your life, you know, make you feel that holding on to it may be something that is, say, beneficial for you, even when you feel like this doesn't feel right, this doesn't feel good. You know, maybe you feel drained after you hang out with somebody, or you just feel like maybe a person doesn't respect your boundaries. Because I'm also noticing he's got his little shield here. You know, so maybe there is a need for setting healthier boundaries and connections. Also, like I said, improving upon communication, healthy communication, which could be something that's very challenging, you know, with people. Maybe there is a lot of disagreements or tension or stress that you're finding in connections with people. And if it's always stressful, you know, what fun is it? Why would you, you know, hold on to a connection like that if it's not one that's really being supportive and, you know, loving towards one another, and the only thing that you feel is tension and conflict and, you know, like I said, for some of you, jealousy, envy, competition, comparison, comparing yourself to another person, or them comparing themselves to you, and not really celebrating each other, not really, you know, I feel like bringing forth energy that's helping both of you to grow, both of you to evolve, you know, things that are not being reciprocated on both parts, then why hold on to it? You know? And I feel like with the Chariot here in the regeneration, it's like Spirit showing you here that if you do find yourself in those places where you are holding on to those connections like that, and you feel like they're not allowing you, it just feels like a lot of lack. I feel like with this, where you're just feeling like not satisfied, not happy, you know, like it's just missing something. So I feel like with the regeneration energy here, it's telling us basically that if something didn't work out with someone, like a friend or, you know, a romantic partner, this is understanding that there is or will be someone better, more in alignment along the way. And it's like us needing to take that chance of letting something go that is not really in alignment with us for our highest good, right? It may also be a need for focusing on self-love too, which may be something that helps you to build up your self-esteem, your confidence, you know, to help you to connect with people who are on your level, people who do inspire you, people who do, you know, celebrate your success, and not ones that are going to try to knock you down, or, you know, not celebrate your wins, your victories, or you doing good, you know, in your life or being successful, but ones that you're just finding a lot more challenge with, I feel like. Okay, So let's ask Spirit here, what can you do to cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? And I feel like with the spell and enchantment, some of you may get like super drawn into like a certain person, that even when you're feeling that feeling of lack, or like something's not inspiring you, something's lost its passion even, is what I'm seeing here. Something that loses its passion, that maybe even afraid to let it go and just kind of holding on to it, even though you may know that it's maybe not something that's serving your highest good. Okay, so let's see here. How can pile 2 cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? Yeah, to me that is a lot of self-love. We have the Tower. This is release. Okay? So this is basically Spirit saying here, if there's any type of situations, friendships, romantic partnerships that are creating chaos, turmoil, stress in your life, let them go. Okay? Let them go with the Tower. Let's see what else. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections? Look at that. 7 of Wands. This is a need for setting boundaries. Okay? Healthier boundaries with people. Standing your ground, not backing down. Okay? Not backing down. We have the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is about equal give and take. Okay? Are you the, romantic partner or the friend who gives too much of yourself? Or are you someone who takes and doesn't give back? The 6 of Pentacles is a two-way street. Right? This could be, if you're not acknowledging that you're not in a friendship that is reciprocating the same energy. If, let's just say, you're someone who comes in with love and compassion and empathy, and you're always there for the friend, or the romantic partner, and then when you need guidance or, encouragement or something like that, you're being met with, a challenge or conflict or differences, stress, arguments, disagreements, is the communication something that is being reciprocated, or are you kind of getting caught up in one-sided friendships, one-sided relationships with people? Okay? So let's see what else. How can pile 2 cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? 2 of Swords. This is, to me, facing reality, facing truth, right? It could be a hard truth we're needing to face about a certain romantic partner or about a certain friend. The 2 of Swords is like we're keeping ourselves willfully blind, keeping ourselves in a place of denial. Are we that person who is giving and giving and giving and always trying, and then you have a friend who doesn't do the same thing, or a romantic partner who doesn't return that same energy? And even if you try to talk and work things out and communicate, and you're having someone who's not returning that same energy, right? That's a need for you basically to take the blindfold off, look at truth, look at reality, right, with that person. Because this can definitely be something that leads to stagnancy or a lack of fulfillment and happiness in those relationships or connections. Look at that, the 8 of Wands. Okay, so the 8 of Wands, again, is communication, back and forth communication. And if that is something that's not happening with this person, something that's not being reciprocated in a way that is conducive to building, right, a happy, harmonious relationship, if you can't even get past that, with the Tower, it's, like I said, a need for release. The 8 of Wands is also about putting energy in motion, right? So taking action. Take action towards setting boundaries. Take action towards releasing anyone who is not in alignment with you, right? Especially if you are that person who is the nurturer, the person who's caring, the person who's compassionate, the person who's giving, and you're not being met with that same energy. So let's get some additional guidance from Spirit. Let's see. Yeah, but for some of you, I'm just kind of getting, it makes me kind of feel like some of you are like magnets for people who may take advantage of your kindness, of your being someone who may be a giver. And that's like that with the Seven of Wands. That's a need for boundaries right there. So let's see. Pile 2. What is Pile 2's guidance on cultivating healthier, deeper connections with people? What is Pile 2's guidance? We have spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. So that to me is like Spirit saying, it's time for a wake-up call. Right? It's time for a wake-up call. Take the blindfold off. No more denial. Look at the truth of your connections. Okay? What have you learned? Take an assessment of what you've learned from these past connections. Right? What are they showing you? What are they teaching you? Don't be afraid of letting go. Right? Because with the regeneration here, this, like, again, is saying that if you let something go, something that wasn't in alignment with you with the tower here, right? The tower is also a wake-up call. That is an epiphany, a realization. It's like Spirit saying, wake up. Look at your connections, right? Are they ones that are reciprocating for you? Are they ones that are supportive? If they're not, and you're just being met with resistance here, don't be afraid of letting them go. Okay, so let's see what else. What is Pile 2's guidance? We have the second bloom, and it says a second chance. It's never too late. New possibilities. Okay, so this is saying, okay, if I let this friendship go, and I've been friends with this person, let's just say for 13 years, and I've outgrown this relationship, it's no longer fitting for me, don't be afraid of letting it go. Like I said, it's the same kind of message. It's the Spirit saying it's never too late to have a new relationship, to have a new friendship, and, you know, create new friends and bonds in your life, right? Be open to new possibilities. Let's see what else here. Pile 2. We have the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love, okay? So the great severing to me is also about you cutting ties with people. It can also be if you are somebody who's constantly, let's just say you are someone who gets very triggered with romantic partners, with friends, and there is this feeling of conflict in connections and friendships even. Maybe that is also, like Spirit is saying here, softening to love. Are you someone who is competitive? Are you someone who does get jealous? You know, it could totally be the other way around. But to me, this is, you know, if you find yourself in situations with friends or even romantic partners where there is just conflict, you know, and you're wanting to have connections that are more supportive, more loving, more caring, more sensitive to what your needs are, and also respect your boundaries, then that can, you know, definitely be you cutting ties, severing ties with people who are only bringing conflict into your life, drama, chaos, fighting, tension, things of that nature. Don't be afraid of letting go. Okay? This is Spirit saying here, be open to new possibilities. Okay? Spontaneous awakening, which to me is wake up call, right? Honestly assess your connections with others. Okay? So I'm going to leave it here for you. Pile number 2. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, Pile 3. So those of you that resonate with the Sun card and the Angel Aura quartz crystals. This is going to be your reading today. So we're looking at what are you lacking in your relationships, okay? So not just romantic, but also friendships, maybe even family connections, colleagues, co-workers, business partners, whatever it might be. So just take whatever comes through, just take it how it resonates, okay? So let's gonna get all of your cards out here. Let's put these ones up here. These ones down here. Okay. So we have the Lover. And we have the Cord with Initiation. And then we also have the Mouse. Let's do the Tarot first. Okay, so we do have Nurture, which is the Empress. We have the Throat Chakra, which is the Five of Swords. Is it the Five of Swords? It might just be the Throat Chakra. I'll have to check to make sure. But we do have Master, which is the Devil energy. We have the Angel of Strength. And then we also have Peace. Okay. Okay, so we'll look at these energy first. And then I will check on this. But yes, we have the Throat Chakra here. It's probably just the what? The fifth chakra. Fifth chakra. Which could very well connect into the Five of Swords energy because the swords in the tarot are about ideas, communication, our thoughts, things of that nature. So the one thing that I am seeing right away, as far as what are you lacking in your relationships, one of the things that is coming through very strongly is a sense of identity. Okay? A sense of identity. Passion is also something that is coming through. Of course, with the Throat Chakra energy, this can be either the Throat Chakra is blocked in some way, meaning that you need to find your voice and speak up and be able to talk up to your, say, a romantic partner or even to a friend about how you feel. Okay, about how you feel. Because with the Throat Chakra energy, this can be when we feel afraid, maybe even to speak our mind, to speak our truth. And that would be more an underactive Throat Chakra. Overactive could be that we are someone who is creating conflicts, fights, arguments, disagreements. Maybe we're being a little bit aggressive. Maybe we are being someone who is self-sabotaging in a way, or unhealthy communication with friends, with romantic partners. Okay, because we do have the devil influence here. The devil can bring in fears and doubts, karmic, unhealthy patterns of behavior when it comes to our connections. It can also be codependency. Okay, is another thing that's coming through. You could be someone who is codependent in a relationship or with friends. And with the identity that comes in here with the Sun, it's a need for you to be, I feel like, more confident in yourself. Okay, because we do have the Angel of Strength here. To me, this is also connected into the solar plexus, which is your confidence. And also, the Sun energy is also Leo. So some of you may also have some really strong Leo placements in your chart. Doesn't have to be, but that is an energy that, like I said, is connected very much into the solar plexus. It's our power. It's us finding our power. And so with the devil energy being here, the devil energy is something that makes us feel very restricted. Okay? And it could be that there are a lot of fears that we have that are keeping us there, self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging type of behavior. Like I said, with the Throat Chakra energy here, it can be not speaking up, not stating what it is that you want or you need within a friendship, within a romantic partnership. Some of you can even be codependent on partners and keep yourself stuck in unhealthy situations with people. With the Empress being here, the Empress is about you knowing your worth, knowing your value. It's about self-love, self-care. It's about knowing that you are worthy of unconditional love. Okay, so if you are feeling that you are in a situation that you are not happy in, this is about you speaking up. It's about you being able to remove yourself out of that situation or away from that person. And for some of you with the cord here in the initiation, when I'm seeing that with the devil energy, to me, this is also attachment for some of you, staying attached to people, friendships that are unhealthy. Okay, for some of you. The Lover energy is bringing in passion. So those of you where that resonates as a romantic partner, it could be passion that's missing, right? And it doesn't mean that just because the passion is missing that it's not the right person. It could be that you're needing to take action. You're needing to speak up. You're needing to say, hey, let's spice it up. Let's get this going. Let's, try to do something different. And being confident enough to speak what your needs are, right? You can't expect people to be mind readers, our partners to be mind readers, our friends to be mind readers. This is about you being able to kind of find a level of confidence in yourself that you know what you're worthy of. And if you know that a person is not treating you kindly or someone is not respecting what your needs are in a connection, and you feel confident enough to say that, hey, you know what? I deserve this. I deserve that. And that person is not willing to change or to meet you halfway within that connection. What are we holding on to it for? Okay. With the little mouse energy here, this is earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. We have Capricorn here too. But what I'm getting from this is because the mouse energy can be something that is very nurturing. Okay. Maybe what you're missing in the relationships is a nurturing connection. Maybe someone that you're connected to may also be someone who has very toxic patterns of behaviors, or there is some throat chakra energy here. Like I said, it can go either way. It can be underactive, in which someone is not speaking up, someone is not speaking your truth, someone is feeling afraid, right? Holding a lot of things inside, feeling afraid to voice their opinion, or even someone who kind of overdoes it, and like I said, in a way that you become loud, obnoxious, fighting, arguing, aggressive energy, bossy, demanding, where we can just kind of overdo it with the throat chakra energy. Okay, so we have peace here. What am I lacking? Peace. Okay, maybe it's peace of mind. Maybe you feel like you're not being nurtured. Maybe you feel like you're not being loved. There's no passion for some of you. Let's just say it's a romantic relationship. There's no passion. Okay? Do you feel like the connection is restricting you? Do you feel like it's holding you back? Do you feel oppressed? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel trapped? Do you feel codependent on a person? Do you feel addicted in a way? Do you feel obsessed? That can all go into this energy of a romantic partner, right? So that can be, with the devil energy, be something that's very unhealthy. Okay? So it can be a need for you to learn to love yourself, because the Empress is coming with a beautiful energy of self-sufficiency, being self-sufficient, okay? Being able to take care of the self, not being dependent on someone else, but it's more or less you finding happiness and peace within yourself, okay? Can come from a lot of this energy. When the mouse energy is out of balance, it becomes very nervous, anxious. So I'm also feeling this is a need for you to pay attention to what your body, okay, not so much your thoughts, because that's more the ego that we're thinking and overanalyzing. What does your body feel around people? Okay? What does your body feel? Do you feel safe? Do you feel secure? Do you feel more or less sad, depressed, worried? Your body is a good indicator to be able to tell you, right? And the environment that you're in is one that is helping you to grow, that is supportive, that is loving, that is, one that is healthy. Okay. And for some of you, it can be keeping yourself stuck in those situations that are unhealthy. Okay. Is a lot of what I'm seeing here. But yes, with the sun and identity, for some of you, it can even be like, let's just say that you feel like you can't be yourself around someone, because if you are yourself or act yourself around that person, is that person going to be someone who just kind of shuts you down? Is that person going to be someone who doesn't accept you? So it's really about you kind of building yourself up, your level of confidence, finding your voice, finding your identity, not being codependent upon another person. Okay. Knowing who you are, knowing what you have to offer, knowing what you bring to the table. Okay. And being able to discover who you are as a person, right? And not just kind of becoming dependent or attached to another person and kind of, and the way can I explain this? I actually, you know what? I used to have a friend before. This is like a perfect example. I had a friend before when I was going to nursing school, and it was a male. And there was this female that was in class that he was dating. And the female, and it may have been because of the relationship that she was in. She was married. She was married. But she was connecting with this guy that we were in nursing school. I was in nursing school with, and she decided, to get a divorce. She got out of that relationship, and then she started dating the guy from nursing school. Well, he was someone with a very strong sense of independence and individuality, and you know, lots of many life experiences. Very intelligent person. And it's not to say that she wasn't, but it was like when he would say, like, I want to do this, I want to go here, I want to, I want all these things in life. Here's my plan for the future. And then when he would ask her, what do you want? What do you want to do? Or what do you like? And then her responses to him would be, I like that too. Or I want what you want. It was like she had no sense of self, no sense of her own identity. And it may have been because she had been someone who was maybe feeling oppressed, or she couldn't be herself, or she hadn't discovered who she was, right? So she more or less just kind of connected to someone, and may have been very codependent in a way with him, but she had no sense of identity, to discover who she truly was. And that may have been something to do with the relationship that she came out of. But what I'm trying to say is that for you, it's you learning how to find your identity outside of your friendships, your relationships. Who are you as a person, right? Who are you as a person? Because with having these, maybe for some of you, unhealthy attachments or bonds or connections with other people, these have to be ones that are supportive of you, where they show value or the two of you see value within one another, and both allow you to be free enough to express yourself in any way you want to, and not feel like you're going to be judged, not feeling like you are going to be talked down to, or that you're going to be manipulated in some way, which can also come in here too with the devil energy, emotional manipulation, okay? Deception, lies, betrayal, maybe even some of you having people who you feel like you can't trust, okay? Or they can't trust you. There could be trust issues here. So it's just kind of with the devil energy, it makes me feel like there's a lot of codependency, unhealthy patterns of behavior, whether with the people that you're connecting with, the relationships or connections you find yourself in, or it can even be a need for you to reflect within your own behavior. We've all been toxic at one time in our life. It is not something that, that we can honestly say, hey, you know what? I've never been toxic. That's not true. That's not true. We've all had a turn at being someone who had some type of toxic pattern of behavior. And it comes from you facing your shadow, right? You facing and being honest with yourself. Okay, what things do I need to work on within myself? Okay. But yeah, for many of you, what you're lacking in your relationship is a sense of peace, right? A sense of peace, because many of you with the mouse energy here could be feeling very nervous, feeling very anxious, not settled. You know, maybe you don't feel grounded within a connection. You don't feel, for many of you, maybe it's not feeling safe, not feeling secure, not feeling confident. Maybe it's something that kind of takes your self-esteem away, takes your confidence away. Okay. And that's not what we want to happen with a healthy relationship, a healthy friendship. So it's going to be a need for you to find your identity, right? Build up your confidence, cutting cords, attachments with anyone that is unhealthy, and also acknowledging what patterns of behavior you have within yourself that you have to work on changing, right? We're doing honest reflection here within our own energy. And, you know, maybe it is that your partner is not nurturing, or, you know, are you kind of returning that same energy? Are you not being nurturing? Are you being cold? Are you being detached? Are you someone who's not being compassionate? Or is it vice versa kind of situation? Or even the two of you? You know, are you someone who can be combative? Are you someone who can be, you know, say some really mean things to people and not think about what you're saying sometimes, right? But yeah, to me, that's a need for kind of just looking within those connections with people. Maybe it's a need for speaking your truth, speaking up, finding your voice, or a need for maybe toning it down a little bit, right? Especially if the way that you communicate is very toxic, okay? Or finding yourself in situations with people who are also toxic in that way too. People who are afraid to speak up, people who are afraid to be open to love, okay? Because the Empress is also that symbol of unconditional love, okay? Care, nurturing, compassionate. And if we cannot nurture our connections, you know, can we really expect another person to continue to give us love? Or are we even open to receive it? Okay. Also mutual respect, right? With partners, friendships as well. But yeah, to me, that is you learning to be confident enough to set some healthy boundaries with people, especially if people are trying to be manipulative towards you. Or, you know, honest reflection. Are you being someone who's manipulative? Okay. So what I would like to do is we're going to ask Spirit here, how can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? So let's see what else. We also have Taurus, Libra. Taurus and Libra. So let's see. Okay, so pile number 3. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? Okay, so we do have Judgment. How can pile 2 cultivate deeper, healthier connections with people? We have the 4 of Cups. Okay. How can pile 3 cultivate deeper? The Sun. Yeah, we've got some strong Leo energy coming through. A lot of this is your level of confidence, you know? Are you taking less than you deserve? Are you settling for breadcrumbs? Maybe for some of you. Friends, you know, who maybe are not pulling their weight. We've got Temperance, Sagittarius, Scorpio. We also have the Knight of Cups. Okay. And I'm seeing the 8 of Pentacles at the bottom. The 8 of Pentacles is about self-mastery. Okay. It is a lot of hard work and dedication that you are putting into yourself. So many of you, this is a need for, like I said, an honest reflection within the self. What kind of energy are you bringing in? Okay. Sometimes the connections that we have in our life can be a direct reflection of the energy that we hold within ourselves. Okay, so if you're noticing that there's like a pattern of behavior, to your connections, to your friendships, to your romantic relationships. It's telling you something, right? There's a need for you to look within yourself to say, okay, what is it within my own energy that is attracting these people, these situations into my life? Okay, that's some shadow work right there with the devil energy. So yes, the Eight of Pentacles is about you putting in effort for some of you, especially if you feel like, okay, I am missing passion in my relationship. Okay, that is being confident to speak up, to say, hey, you know what? I feel like we need a little more passion in our connection. Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's try that. And that is about you putting in the effort, to create that in the relationship, and not expecting the other person to do it, or the other person to read your mind. Okay. To me, with the feminine energy here, the Empress is also a very passionate, very sensual energy. Okay. So it can also be you being more in tune with your own feminine energy, releasing that, letting that out, expressing that, feeling comfortable and confident enough to express that side of yourself. Okay. Especially where passion is an issue for some of you that you're missing. It's putting in the effort, right? The Eight of Pentacles is about putting in hard work, dedicated effort, committed effort into something. Okay. For others of you, again, I'm seeing the Sun energy here. So this is building up your level of your confidence. Okay. Maybe focusing on things, especially if you're someone who is codependent, start focusing on things that make you happy, right? That bring you joy, that bring you happiness into your life. Because with the Four of Cups here, some of you could be just bored, right? The Four of Cups is talking about indifference. It's talking about boredom. It's feeling of discontent, unhappiness, so are there other things that are going on in your life that you're feeling unhappy with? Or is it your entire life as a whole that is making you feel unhappy, right? Again, honest assessment. Where are we at? Are there other things in our life that are kind of going on that could be impacting my friendships, my romantic relationships? So temperance to me is about you finding balance within yourself. Okay. This can also be healing. The Four of Cups can also be a need for you to not reject certain opportunities for changes, right? New friendships, new connections coming in. Judgment is about you literally having a wake-up call. Okay? The Judgment is kind of like the universe calling us to action, to make a decision. Do I want to continue to keep myself in this friendship or in this romantic relationship? Do I really feel bored here? Do I feel like my needs are not being met? Do I feel like I'm lacking emotional fulfillment here? Okay. So with a Judgment, this can be you kind of looking back to your connection or your friendship with that person to decide, what have I learned from this? And do I want to continue to this? Is it possible for me to try to bring in renewal into this connection if I put in the effort, right? Of course, it has to be a two-way kind of street. You can be the person who's trying and trying and trying wholeheartedly, and the other person who's just not doing it, right? And if that is the case, Judgment could be you making that decision to let it go. Okay, to bring yourself to, or open yourself up to other opportunities. Okay. And then you have the Knight of Cups energy here with the cup that is open, ready to receive. So to me, this is also about you looking to be open to connecting with other people. Maybe it is bringing the romance back for some of you. Okay. Especially, like I said, where you're still in a place where you could, bring that back into the connection, right? If you truly feel that it is something that is worth salvaging. Okay. Putting in committed effort, trying to bring the passion back, trying to bring the romance back for some of you, because with the boredom energy here, hey, maybe for some of you, it's a need to kind of bring that energy back in. This is you putting in the effort towards that, not being afraid to speak up, not being afraid because the Empress is also about body positivity, self-love, self-care, feeling beautiful or feeling handsome, connected into the feminine energy within all of us. And this is about nurturing the self, loving the self. Okay. What else am I seeing here? Yeah, some of you with the Judgment card, you can, right? You can work towards finding renewal within these connections. But for some of you, especially if it's like a friendship and you feel like you're putting in the effort, you're putting in the work, and it's just not bringing you that emotional fulfillment, maybe this is working towards potentially letting it go, right? Keeping your options open, opening yourself up to connecting and meeting other people. Okay, so let's get some last messages of guidance, advice from Spirit. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections, right? And also pay attention, like, is there something else going on within you, right? Is there something else that you're feeling discontent about? Are you unhappy with yourself, right? And is it something that is impacting your friendships, impacting your relationships? Okay, right? We cannot expect another person to make us happy. We have to find happiness within ourselves, right? Otherwise, we are trying to give and receive love with an empty cup. We have to fill our own cup and make sure that cup is full and it's overflowing. Okay, enough for us to be able to give and receive love with another person. So it's about creating balance, harmony. Okay. So let's see here. How can pile 3 cultivate healthier, deeper connections? We have the Cosmic Heart, and it says devotion, potency, and make your life a moving prayer. Okay, so to me, this also talks a lot about you also being in tune with your own energy, your own heart. What is your heart telling you? Okay, this is about you, especially for romantic connections. This is about you elevating your vibration to that of love. Okay, higher vibrational energy. Elevating yourself to that energy of love. The Empress, unconditional love, compassion, nurturing, kindness, gentleness. Okay, let's see here. Healing the feminine energy may be something for some of you. Healing your feminine energy. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections? Some of you, this can even be healing a mother wound. Okay, healing the mother wound. This is, to me, for some of you, toxic feminine. Okay, toxic feminine energy you're healing. We have after the rain, and it says a silver lining, relief, hope, mercy. It's over, and also acceptance. Okay, so maybe for some of you where you're just feeling like I've already tried, right? This connection's not working, this friendship's not working. Maybe it is accepting that it's something that is not for you or no longer for you. Maybe it's something that has already served its purpose. Okay. How can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections? And again, remembering that our the reality that we are experiencing is a direct reflection of our own energy, right? So this is, again, honest reflection about where you're at energetically and why you are attracted to or attracting certain people in, certain connections in. What is it teaching you about yourself, right? What is it that you're needing to learn from these experiences? So how can you cultivate healthier, deeper connections with people? We have lost lands, and it says soul memories and gifts, and it says you've done this before. Now with that card, for those, especially for those of you that do believe in past life energy, past lives, I'll say, maybe for some of you, this is karma that you're clearing. Maybe you're finding yourself in karmic family situations, karmic relationships, karmic friendships. And I feel like a lot of it has to do, this almost looks like repressed feminine energy to me. Toxic feminine, repressed feminine energy. There's a need for you to learn from these experiences that you go through. How to, like I said, how to find your identity, how to be more confident in yourself, how to love and nurture yourself. And for some of you, especially if you've come from a not so great family dynamic situation from childhood, this could even include reparenting yourself. Okay? Reparenting yourself, nurturing your inner child. Because with you've done this before, this almost tells me that there is some kind of karmic cycle that's happening with your connections. So maybe you feel like you cannot be yourself around certain people, or you know, yeah, I'm just feeling there's a lot to unpack with this pile. Okay? But yes, this is Spirit saying acknowledge, right? Acknowledge what you've learned, because with judgment, this is where we look to our past to learn so that we can grow and transform, right? We can transform into the person who is open to receiving those connections with people, whether they be friendships or romantic relationships that are very nurturing, right? Us putting in the effort to nurture, take time to nurture the connections, us putting in effort. Sometimes we can be like, okay, well, I tried, but it's not working. You know, where are we really trying? You know? And are we trying with this Empress energy, or are we trying with the Devil energy? You know? Are we trying with this? Or are we kind of coming in with this beautiful energy of the Empress? And if we're not, this is where you may need to kind of work on the self. Work on healing the feminine energy. And working on yourself, right? Because we have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is about self-mastery. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here for you, pile number 3. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.